Well, I've known Ian for some years and periodically I play in his band, and he approached me as a songwriter to just say, hey, why don't you put your minute in? We also talked about trying to make some more diverse connections in the industry than he has. I think we have 62 artists on our agenda now. We all recorded and submitted. The CD was created, and then I joined with Ian to try and wrestle the project into a form that we could release it, and looked at some funding options and things like that. It's been a little bit of running around in circles, but I think it's worth it, and we've got the project that is Melbourne in 60 seconds. Obviously, it was instigated by Ian, who was concerned that people were just not doing their craft, not sharpening their tools and keeping them up to speed. And certainly when he approached me, I hadn't picked up my guitar in a long time, let alone written a song. So it was actually a bit of a lifeline, if you like. And he was just coming in his boat. I wrote a song. It took me a long time because I was struggling to keep my motivation as a musician, as a songwriter. And, I had watched my guitars gathering dust, or watched my recording studio gathering dust over this period. And it was just, good to have someone call out and say, hey, Kimberley, I need you to do something. I think it also gave us the appreciation that a lot of what we do as musicians, as writers, it is a team sport. It's a social thing. And when you're on your own, separated from people and not able to get together and rehearse things, work things up or generate ideas, that you can go sort of to rack and ruin and decay. So that was certainly a reminder. My song took the idea of Melbourne, and it also took the idea of lockdown. It's a song called Groundhog Day, and it talks about being in lockdown where every day is the same day over and over again. I used to have jokes with my mum who lives in Geelong that, I'm going to go for a holiday in the hallway tonight. You've got 60 seconds and you've probably got this much to say in this amount of time. And there's only a certain place, you can only go certain places musically because that's all you've got the scope to do. So that was a real challenge. To know that you've got 59 other people doing the same thing, I think is kind of a unique thing in that, we've all been separated and they're all doing their thing in their little cloud. The album as a whole is certainly a social point in time from the point of view of a songwriter in Melbourne. So it's, I think it has some historical value in the future, obviously, but also as an art piece to see what 59 other people do with the same idea is quite exciting. When I first came to Melbourne, I really struggled with it. I grew up in the Western District, and I'm a country girl, and I struggled with the busyness and Melbourne has an energy about it that I couldn't quite comprehend, and I did feel like a fish out of water until I started playing in music. Till I started playing in bands, and then I felt I had a place in this city. And from there, I've branched out and I've grown as a person within Melbourne. And I now, while I am, the girl from regional Geelong, I've spent more of my life in Melbourne now, and I wouldn't have it any other way.